James Gunn has given us a pretty interesting sneak peek here. The other day, the Superman team dropped a brand new video for Superman Day, and they might have revealed a secret villain. Let's take a couple of minutes to look at the picture, break down what's going on, talk about what that is or isn't, and the impact it could have on the future of Superman and the DC Universe. Well, I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but on Friday when we had Superman Day, DC Studios dropped some pretty interesting stuff about the upcoming movie. Now, James Gunn has gone out of his way to make Superman Day pretty big every year since he started up the studio, and us as fans have always looked at the anniversary of the Man of Steel for big things from DC Comics. Now, to celebrate the event, they actually dropped a behind-the-scenes video that featured all kinds of really great new details about the film. We actually got a pretty good shot at Metamorpho, we saw some of Lex Luthor's armored soldiers, and interestingly, we got a third picture that might have captured either another villain or a major DC Universe alien race. So let's not beat around the bush, guys, and we're just going to check out the picture. Now, in this picture, what you see here is Lex Luthor standing beside some sort of weird-looking white creature. Now, the prevailing theory so far is that this could very well be a white Martian. Now, the white Martians in the DC Universe are typically villains associated with Martian Manhunter, aka John Jones. Now, I absolutely think Gunn has plans for Martian Manhunter. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And he would definitely have to introduce this variation of Martian to kind of make that work. But for me, it seems like it might be a little early for that. Now, Gunn has done a lot of world building, and we do know the world of superheroes already sort of exists in James Gunn's DC Universe, so the possibilities of Martian Manhunter already being here and this being a white Martian, they're definitely there. But he did give us some clues when he was first developing the film. Now, as you know, one of the major comics he pointed to when he was developing this was All-Star Superman, and one of the villains in that comic is Parasite. Now, I have to say, this picture does kind of give Parasite vibes. Now, I know typically he's kind of a purplish red color, but I have seen variations of the character where he kind of does vary down to almost an opaque white or gray, and in this form, he definitely looks very weakened, like they drained all the energy out of him. Now, Parasite would be a pretty interesting choice, but what's interesting about the character is he isn't even originally a Superman baddie. Rudy Jones, aka the Parasite, made his first appearance in Firestorm number 2, volume 2, number 58, way back in 1987, but since then has become a staple of the Superman world and one of his major villains, and even sometimes an ally. We do know that Lex Luthor is going to send a series of threats at Superman. We heard that scene with the kaiju is actually the opening scene of the movie, and that monster, well, Lex is responsible for it. And throughout the film, we'll be throwing more and more at Superman till we get to the final, quote, boss, who many people believe will be Ultraman. Now, having the Parasite as part of this would really, really work. And honestly, this was one of those rumors that was making the rounds very early in the film's development, probably because Gunn had pointed to All-Star Superman. Now, I also start to think a little bit about that glowing ball in the air, which could also be the Parasite. After he's garnered enough power, well, anything can happen. And if Lex Luthor basically has a prison full of experiments and things for the Parasite to feed off of, or other metahumans, which we know are a lot in the movie, well, you could definitely see how the monster could sort of charge himself up and turn into a real foe for Superman. Now, it's still very likely the rumor of Ultraman being the main or final villain will still hold true, but there's totally room for Parasite in this movie. And the Parasite is one of Superman's most classic foes that's never manifested on the big screen. Been hoping for a while we would get some other Superman villains besides Lex, maybe in the form of Metallo or Toyman, but I'll definitely take the Parasite as one of those baddies, even if he's only in 1 or 2 scenes. Now, obviously we're following Superman pretty closely. I want this film to work out really great, and I think adding the Parasite to it could give it some interesting dynamics. Obviously, this hasn't been confirmed by James Gunn as of yet, but with a new trailer right around the corner, maybe we get some more clues or just out-and-out confirmation. Till we know more, what do you guys think? Who do you think this is a picture of? Do you believe this is a white Martian from Mars, or is this one of Superman's foes, the Parasite? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, before you take off though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily videos and we want to be your place for all the Marvel and DC news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you're really in the know.